So SDG 14 is about life below water. And it's interesting because some of the targets in SDG 14 require action on land rather than in the ocean. For example, target 14.1, which wants us to prevent and significantly reduce marine pollution of all kinds, requires us to stop putting waste in the ocean. There are initiatives to take plastic waste out of the ocean. There are ships out there collecting floating plastics, but these are really inefficient and they burn fossil fuel to do it. So what we need to do is just stop polluting our oceans in the first place. And Ireland was really progressive in this. We banned plastic bags in 2001, and the number of bags entering the ocean absolutely plummeted. And it also raised €200 million in levies, which were ring-fenced for environmental projects. So this shows how useful government action can be compared to individual action. Yes, we can all stop using single-use plastics, but if government acts, the impacts are enormous and immediate. So target 14.3 is another target that requires land-based action. To reduce ocean acidification, we need to reduce our production of greenhouse gases, and this means transitioning from fossil fuels to renewable fuels, and also reducing the impacts of agriculture. And individual actions can play a role. We can eat less meat and dairy, we can embrace walking and cycling, but actions at government are again going to have a much greater impact. Farmers need a just transition. Transport infrastructure needs to be shifted away from a car focus to active transport, and also to provide for hydrogen and electric vehicles. And the energy grid needs to be adapted for renewables that tend to be much more variable in their output. Not surprisingly, several of the sustainability goals to do with the ocean are related to fishing. So 14.2 requires nations to take a whole ecosystem-based approach to managing waters to keep them healthy and productive. 14.4 requires us to stop overfishing. 35% of our stocks worldwide are still overexploited. That's nearly a third of all our fish coming from unsustainable sources. As consumers, we can select fish that it comes from fisheries certified as sustainable. And we can pressure our suppliers, like our supermarkets, to make sure that they only stock fish that come from certified fisheries. The suppliers then, in turn, will put pressure on fisheries managers, so we can have a real impact this way. Target 14.6 requires that subsidies that contribute to overfishing be stopped, and Target B requires small-scale fisheries to be supported, and both Ireland and the EU are working towards hitting these two targets. Target 14.5 requires us to conserve 10% of our coastal and marine areas. In Ireland, in 2021, we were protecting between 2 and 3%, but the government has an ambition to raise this to 30%, and it's actively working on it. If these new marine protected areas are properly managed, this could have a substantial impact on our ocean's health. If you talk to older fishermen, they'll tell you that the seas are not as rich as they were when they were young. But if you spoke to their grandfathers, who aren't any longer with us, they would have said exactly the same thing, that the oceans were richer when they were young. We've slowly been degrading our oceans over several hundred years, and what we need to do now is let it recover. And protecting 30% of our oceans would do this. It seems quite a large target, but it still leaves us 70% to be exploited sustainably. We still need to use our ocean. It provides us with food, it gives us transport routes, it provides us with energy. But we need to use it sustainably, and we also need to make sure that we protect it for future generations to also be able to use it.